Remember my strange addiction? Get ready to cringe because we've got updates. From car lovers to tape eaters, find out who's still stuck in their bizarre habits and who's finally kicked the habit, bizarre as many were. Spoiler alert, some of these stories are more shocking than ever. Click now to catch up on all the jaw-dropping, face-palming details from the cast you couldn't forget if you tried. TLC's My Strange Addiction shocked, amazed, and fascinated people in almost equal parts. The uproar about the show wasn't for nothing, as it featured a range of people with very unusual and often uncontrollable behavior, surpassing everyone's expectations when it came to reality TV. While the show's main goal was to shed light on compulsive behaviors, a small part of the audience found some of the cases featured in the show relatable and even familiar. Others were just overawed by the people shown, to the point that it was inevitable not to wonder what was going on with them beyond what was seen on the TV screen. It's been years since the show ended, but curiosity has remained, just the same. Fortunately for all of us, TLC's 2023 spin-off, My Strange Addiction, Still Addicted, has given us updates about some of the most interesting stars from the show and whether they've overcome their strange habits. Keep watching to find out more. Many loyal viewers remember Nathaniel, a man from the third season of My Strange Addiction who had an extreme fixation with his car. He went beyond what could be considered as a love for the automotive, as he considered his cars romantic partners. A 27-year-old Nathaniel wasn't ashamed to admit that he felt love at first sight and an instant connection once he saw this car, which he named Chase, in the resale lot. On top of that, Nathaniel passionately kissed Chase for the cameras, causing a mix of shock and amusement in viewers, as seen in the comment section of the episode's YouTube video shared by TLC. Over a decade after Nathaniel's Dating My Car episode aired, he went back to the spin-off Still Addicted to retell his story. In it, Nathaniel tearily revealed that Chase was destroyed during a mechanic check 4 years before, confessing that it broke his heart to remember that his red car was no longer with him. To remember Chase, Nathaniel built a bed with some of its surviving parts and decorated it with a blanket which is printed with many pics of the two together. Besides that, a massive collection of the shared photos is still stored on Nathaniel's computer, meaning that he's still very far from overcoming his addiction to the car, despite the physical lack of Chase in his life. Minor cosmetic procedures such as injections aren't rare in the beauty industry. But what happens when these are illegal and consumed by a person in massive quantities? This was the case for Karmello, a woman from New York who appeared in the 4th season of My Strange Addiction, because she couldn't stop injecting liquid into her buttocks. Though Karmello's situation seems slightly peculiar on the surface, the truth is that the injections she was getting were illegal and put her life severely at risk. According to the show, these illegally sourced injections could contain a wide variety of dangerous liquids, such as cement and metal lubricant. Fortunately for Karmello, she saved her life by overcoming that habit of hers. As she revealed in the 3rd episode of Still Addicted, she has definitely grown as a woman and is now a better mom. Her son was the strongest motivator behind Karmello's decision to stop the injections into her body, as she realized the risk she was exposed to when she watched her My Strange Addiction episode when it aired. Karmello's case ended on a heartwarming note about how she overcame the difficulties and addiction to be present for her child. The 4th season of My Strange Addiction brought us one of the show's most memorable cases with Lisa, a woman who was addicted to her cat's fur. Her obsession went beyond just petting her cat, as Lisa licked her beloved cat's hair and often ate it. The worry about Lisa's addiction was focused not only on the unsanitary implications of eating cat hair, but on her general health too, as she could develop ulcers, gastrointestinal bleeding disorder, or even a stomach rupture because of it. Despite being aware of the dangers of her habit, Lisa still does it these days. As she admitted in the 1st episode of Still Addicted, she loves the fur's cottony texture on her mouth and is not planning to desist anytime soon. That's not all though, because Lisa passed from having one cat to owning 6 of them, all of whom she grooms with her tongue. Oh dear. By the time she appeared in the 3rd season of My Strange Addiction, Ayana from Texas had been growing her fingernails and toenails for over 25 years. In her words, she was a long nails goddess and didn't plan on changing that, regardless of how much her nails interfered with the exercises she'd been doing to keep herself healthy, especially after being diagnosed with diabetes. These days, Ayana takes care of her nails with the same commitment she did a decade ago when she was featured in the show, with the difference that her nails are now shorter. At some point, she grew them to over 19 inches combined, but issues with her worsening diabetes and COVID-19 made Ayana feel very helpless physically. As she confessed and still addicted, cutting her nails was an emotionally devastating process given how much effort she'd put into them and how special her nails made her feel for almost 3 decades. In the 3rd season of My Strange Addiction, we were introduced to Andrea, a woman from Georgia who had been eating tape for several years. She started her addiction when she was 13 years old and stuck with it because it was relaxing, though she was later advised to stop because of the harmful effects the habit could have on her health. Nevertheless, what pushed Andrea to stop her addiction wasn't the medical advice itself, but seeing herself in the show. As Andrea confessed in the spin-off, Still Addicted, she recalled seeing herself on screen and thinking, "I really do that?" finding her behavior weird on the spot. To overcome that addiction, Andrea figured out that the origin of her addiction was the peaceful feeling that the tape used to give her. So Andrea replaced the tape with chewing gum and seems content with that for now. Back in the 1st season of My Strange Addiction, we met Bianca, a woman who loved eating cigarette ash and pottery. Though her family and friends commented negatively on her addiction, Bianca wasn't very concerned about the comments, or even whether her particular eating habit could affect her health. These days, Bianca no longer consumes ashes or takes bites from flower pots. In her Still Addicted episode, she proudly confessed that she changed her addiction because of her children, being encouraged by the fact she didn't want them to see her eating any of it. However, Bianca replaced her previous obsession with chalk, which she now consumes just as she did ashes. Although the spin-off Still Addicted doesn't update us with any infamous cast members from previous seasons, it's great to see so many of them again, regardless of whether they overcame their addiction or not. So come on, give us your reactions out loud. What do you think encourages such habits? Is there a general malaise in these people, or perhaps a specific incident in their past? And these are comfort toys? Do you know of anyone with a similarly weird habit? If so, do tell, and why you think they engage in such behavior, if you know. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.